Hi, you guys. It's Shauna from SBL Wellness. I'm so excited to jump in here and talk about supports for back to school. So most of you know I am also a school therapist, and so it's going to be back to school time and time to make sure that our bodies are ready for that. So just getting everything started here. There we go. All right. So a couple things that I'll do tonight. I want to do some DIYs. I want to show you a couple easy things to make to get yourself ready, and then just talk about a couple different things. So we're really talking about just keeping our not only physical health, but our emotional health in check too. So I think these are going to be some great things for you guys. Some of it might be reminders, but as we've all been on our summer journeys, sometimes we get away from routines, and so I thought it would be good to kind of bring that back. So I'm going to start out with a roller bottle that I think is super important to have to make sure that your immune system is going to be supported, to make sure that those germs of just being around in close quarters with other people, of course they're going to be there and make it a lot more easier with the touching more surfaces, a lot of different people and that sort of thing. And so it's really important to make sure that we're doing that on a daily basis. And so I actually have kept mine up all summer long. I've been using my On Guard roller on the bottoms of my feet, but I am going to go ahead and start using Flume. And I know I typically talk about using that one for when it's truly sick season, but you guys were about to get back in those close quarters as I talked about. So I think it's important to think about using that at least for the first couple of weeks as you're getting back in that, to really give your body that boost. And then you can go back to just using the On Guard for a maintenance if you want to, or you can continue through sick season if that's what your body needs. I know I've talked about in the past with the oregano in that blend that maybe you don't want to take it for long periods of time, but the more I've learned about that, it's really more about not taking oregano internally more than 10 days in a row, but putting it on your body topically would be okay for that. So the Flume. So Flume is frankincense, lemon, On Guard, oregano, and melaleuca. Now, if you don't have these oils and you just have a couple of them, you can definitely put those items on your wish list to make sure that you can have them, because they all have their, wonderful, powerful benefits about each of them. But you can also kind of leave something out if you don't have it. So don't shy away from making it if you don't have it. But I will say you definitely want to make sure you have that On Guard in there, because that's the protective blend that has a lot of the other oils that are boosting it up. So I'm going to make that so you guys can see. So this is a 10 milliliter roller bottle. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about 5 drops of each in there. And this is for adult, you guys. And so if you're diluting for kids, you're going to want to do a little bit less than that. I will post the roller bottle makeup for ages. If you guys want that, I'll do that a little bit later. So you're just going to put all of your drops in here. So that's the frankincense. Frankincense is such a great powerhouse oil. It's really that cellular level support. So that's going to be helping our immune system and those cells be able to do what we need to do. Next up is lemon. Lemon is so cleansing for the body, you guys. So that's a great one to have in there. On Guard is up next. I mentioned that one as our protective blend. It's got cinnamon and clove and wild orange, a couple other ones. Oregano's up next. That's that powerhouse. This is antiviral, antibacterial properties. And so that's why we're putting that powerhouse in the Flume roller. It's a little bit of a thicker oil. It takes a little bit longer to come out. And as you can see, I'm talking and just doing it. And so, if you're off by a little bit, don't worry about that piece of it. Just get in what you think you're close to what you need. And so this is melaleuca, which is also a really great antiviral, antibacterial, all those good things. So that's why that one's in there. And then just fill up the rest of the way with the fractionated coconut oil. I don't know if you guys would get this one. This is my favorite one from Amazon, but I'm loving this new pump that they've been sending with them. And so it really fits nicely down in there. so there's like no spillage. It's just really loud. And then I'm just filling it up to the neck of the bottle so that that'll be easy and diluted and ready to go for rolling on. Pop on. If you're not using the doTERRA roller bottles, I definitely recommend them. I'm so happy they started selling those because they pop right on like that, but they don't leak, and they're really easy to pop off for refills too. And then I'll just stick the stickers on there so that I know what's on there. So I'll do that later. And so there you already have the roller bottle. What I do with this is put it on the bottoms of my feet. And so I actually have my roller right on my coffee table because that's where I put my shoes on. So I really recommend wherever it is that you're going to be doing some of these routines, have your oils there because that's what's going to make sure that you're doing it on a consistent, regular basis. And so you'll be ready to go with that roller bottle. So again, bottoms of feet are great just because your body's going to be able to absorb it well. And then, you know, some of those, like the oregano, you don't want to walk around smelling like spaghetti, right? So on the bottoms of your feet, you're not going to have that aromatic kind of perfuming you for the day. So that's the Flume roller that I definitely recommend getting yourself going with that or some version of that as you get ready to head back to school. And then I talked about surfaces and how we have to be more mindful of washing our hands all the time now, right? And so you guys, hand sanitizers are the worst. There are just really not good things in there. They're not good for your skin. They're really toxic things that are in some hand sanitizers. And so if you can, you know, either get the On Guard one or make your own, it's really a good swap to make sure that your body is staying well and that you're also not putting all those added layer toxins in there that are disruptive to so many of the body systems. So doTERRA has these On Guard sprays, and these are great, super easy and convenient, but it's also very easy to make your own. And so oftentimes I just kind of refill the bottle. Tonight I actually am going to show you a just an empty bottle. So these bottles, you can get them on Amazon. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use On Guard for that. And so I'm going to put in about 10 or 15 drops. And then I'm going to put in, you guys, those of you who have been following me know I'm not much of a measurer. It's not my thing. I like to just go at it and do. So I'm going to put in some aloe vera. So this is the one that I like. This is 7 Minerals. Oh gosh, can't see that. It's 7 Minerals. And I get this one on Amazon. It is an organic, just to be mindful of how the things were grown that we're putting on our body. And so this one is in liquid form. It's not gel. And so I'm just going to take this dropper and fill up the dropper and put 2 droppers of the aloe in there. And that's just really supportive for the skin as we're using this so that their hands don't dry out. All right, and then I'll fill the rest of the way with filtered water. I'm not going to do that and bore you now, but I'll fill that up after. And then these cute little labels, you guys, that I got from Share Oils. You can't see them. It says Germ Away hand spray. So those are super cute. So I'm going to put that on there, and then hand sanitizer will be ready to go. So I keep one in my purse. One of the really great ways to not only use this on your hands is to spray down your grocery cart when you go into your grocery shopping. Because you guys, I mean, think about it, like how many people are using those carts, and I'm not sure that like they ever wash them down, or they, you know, they have those wipes for you, but then all those chemicals that I just talked about are there in those wipes too. So this is a really great way to just have that with you and be able to use it when you need it. So those are 2 great DIYs, super, super easy to get you ready for back to school. And then I wanted to talk about, let me just see my notes a little bit of things that I wanted to make sure I touch base on. Supplements. You guys, supplements are so important. Even if you are a healthy eater, you do really well. I'm not sure about you guys, but I'm not eating 7 servings of vegetables a day, and I'm a pretty healthy eater. So that's really what's recommended. And so I think we're all depleted of the nutrients that we need if we're not looking into quality supplementation. And so you guys have heard me talk about doTERRA supplements, how wonderful they've been. And so the Lifelong Vitality vitamins have been amazing for me. And I've learned some new things about them too. And I wanted to share specifically about the omegas. And so when your body is, healing and doing some different things, getting better, when you're going through routines and getting better at eating and all of those kind of things, you're going to start to notice some really great things, but then you're going to start to see, like, why are some of these things that I'm dealing with still hanging on? And what I'm learning, you guys, is that it's because the inflammation in our body goes into our bloodstream. And so it's staying there longer. And so these omegas are what we really, really need to help our body be able to, help our blood be able to filter that out. And so the omegas are something that we really don't get in our diet, and our body can't make those omega-3s. And so we really want to look into supplementing those. So if you have questions specifically about some of those supplements, I'd love to kind of dig into that with a little bit more. I'm not going to go into whole detail tonight on them, but I wanted to mention them because they are super, super powerhouses for your immune support to stay well as well. And one of the things that I really wanted to encourage you is, if you're not already taking the PB Assist probiotic, I really encourage you to look into that. Our gut, you guys, we really, really have to keep that well. The majority of our health lies in our gut. Research tells us that 70 to 80% of our immune system is in our gut. That's huge. Like, if we're not addressing our gut health, then, it's really hard for us to stay well. So that's really important. And the research is telling us that 90% of serotonin, that's our happy chemical, is in our gut. You guys, that's huge. 90%. So think about, like, all these emotional things that we go through, all these things we're hearing in our world about mental health and how we need to really dig in with that. I'm a huge proponent of, we really need to dig into gut health. I know that personally, but just in all of the learning that I'm doing for health coaching as well, like, it's really, the research is really showing us that we really need to be looking at that. And so a probiotic is a really great way to help manage our gut health, make sure that we are getting a good balance of that healthy bacteria so that our body can do the things that it needs to do to help us stay well. So I definitely recommend that. There is a version of the PB Assist, so PB Assist Junior for kids, that's in powder form. So that's definitely something that the kiddos can start taking too. I take them at night just because that's my routine. And so I've been able to really stick with that. So you just kind of put them in where they fit in your life. But taking them on a regular basis has been really great. So I do recommend that. And then as I was talking about emotional health, I think as we go back to routines that are different, there starts to be anxiety about that, right? We don't know what's going to come. We are unsure of, this whole kind of school year starting. What's that going to be like? So I really encourage you to connect with what oils help you emotionally. And so it's different for everybody. And for me, honestly, it's different. Sometimes every day, sometimes I go a week and I'm really attached to an oil. And so I just encourage you to kind of go through your oils and see which ones you really like. Florals can be really supportive to your emotional system. And so you can, lavenders and ylang ylang and Roman chamomile and some of those florals. But then, we have lots of different blends that are already made up. So I just brought a couple in to show you tonight. This is Cheer. I know a lot of you enjoy Cheer. This is the uplifting blend. Motivates here. I was using these two today as I was getting some stuff done. And so I tend to, with the emotional ones, I tend to roll them on my wrists and kind of really give that inhale, keep them on my diffuser bracelet and then rolling behind your ears, because then you're really getting that aromatic right there for that support. So I really encourage you to see which oils you kind of attach to and then have them with you. You don't want to be like, oh my gosh, now I'm feeling like this and I don't have what I need. So make sure they're out where you need them, or with you if you're not at home, so that you have them. And then another thing that is kind of not oil related, but kind of my thing, is you guys know how I'm really into mindfulness and breathing on purpose. And so that's something I want to encourage you guys to do, is make sure that you're taking those pause moments during your day, that you are just taking time to really focus on your belly breathing. That's another really awesome thing that I was learning even more about this summer, about how diaphragmatic breathing is so helpful for our body. As our diaphragm expands, if we really allow that to happen, it's actually lifting up the heart. And so it's really actually taking care of our heart health too. So taking the time to do that and just rest your hands on your belly and allow your belly to expand as you breathe in, and then kind of deflate as you breathe out, is going to allow you just to take a moment to be able to settle. And it doesn't have to be a long time, even if you only have a time for a couple of breaths in between what you're doing. You'll notice over time it's really helpful. And so research is actually showing us that doing it just 5 minutes a day is actually more beneficial for the body than if you just did it an hour 1 day a week. I think that's pretty powerful. And it just really shows that our body just needs those reset moments. So I hope that you're able to find some pause moments and breathe on purpose. If you want some additional things with that, I can definitely support you and share some ideas for like guided meditation and those kind of things that are helpful to kind of help our brain and our body be able to take on what we need to in our new routines. And then, of course, sleep, right? If we're not sleeping well, then it's really, really hard for us to do what we need to do through the day. And so make sure that you are really getting into good routines. It's important to get about 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. So if you can start to get yourself in and settled for that, that's a really good practice to get in, and just really kind of set up a routine with it. So I set up a routine with my oils. I'm diffusing Breathe in Serenity still most of the time every night. So I have those right in the room, right where they are. They're always there in the spot, so I don't have to go looking for them or forget where, I might have put one of them. And then I have a jug of distilled water right there, just so it's easy. And, you're not tired after a long day and just, oh, forget it, I'm not going to go downstairs and get that. Just have it right there and ready so that you're able to do it. And then whatever oils you might use for helping your body kind of calm down and get ready can be there too. So on my nightstand, I have my Balance, and then I have my Balance and Geranium that I use at night for my thyroid support. And so they're right there on the nightstand. I don't ever move those around. They kind of stay there so that I can make sure I have them. And just putting Balance on the bottoms of my feet really help my body to settle. It's really been a gift to my sleep routines. And so I think that, whatever oils that you feel connected with, I think it's important to kind of get to know that for yourself and then be able to settle in. There's great resource guides out there. The Essential Life book is a great one. I don't have it over here to show you, but that's a great one to just really be able to kind of look through the properties of oils and get to know them a little bit so that you can start to choose what really your body responds to the most. And I'm happy to support you and help you out with those if you need them as well. All right, so that kind of brings us through kind of what you might do in the day for oils and supplements and those kind of things. I forgot to mention one of them. I brought you down to sleep, and now I'm going to go back to talk about energy a little bit. I have started taking this Mito to Max energy complex in the afternoons, and you guys, it really is a super support for that afternoon energy boost that you need without caffeine. So we can move away from that. Caffeine can be so detrimental to our body if we're having too much of it. And so this is a really great way to naturally get what our body is looking for to kind of carry us through and keep us going during the day. So that's the Mito 2 Max. If you are looking to try out something new, that might be a good one to give a whirl as you get back into busier routines, or just different, right? I feel like I had a busy summer, but just different routines. All right, so I hope that was helpful, you guys. Please let me know if you have questions about, DIY or individual needs that you have, different things going on. We can definitely kind of personalize your routines for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out. You can jump on my website, sbellwellness.com. My contact information is there. That allows you to get in touch with me so that we can get you some support. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next Tuesday at 8:30 for our next class. Thank you guys, be well.